Hi, everyone. Welcome to our collard wraps class. I'm joined today by my amazing Team Battle Chef Ambassador, David. David, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hey, can you hear me? Because I have two different cameras, and one of them, my phone is unmuted, so it's close to me.
We can hear you.
So, hey, I'm David. I'm 16. I am from Brooklyn, and well, I'm so excited to make the colored wraps today.
Yeah. How old are you, David?
I said I'm 16.
Awesome. David has been basically growing up with us his whole life, and he's learned so many amazing skills with our program, Teen Battle Chef, that we've invited him to become a Teen Battle Chef Ambassador. We are so
Yeah,
excited to chef it up with you guys today. And we're going to be learning how to make a veggie collard wrap, which is basically a delicious bunch of, it's basically like a sandwich, but it's wrapped up with collard green versus like a pita.
yeah,
Um,
it's kind of like a burrito, but a
exactly.
healthy vegetarian burrito.
And the reason why we like to use collard greens instead of pita or bread is it's full of vitamins and minerals and it has less calories than bread or pita. Um, But before we get started cooking, we have some hygiene skills we want to go over. Can you talk us through some hygiene skills, David?
Of course. So, hygiene is one of the most important parts of the kitchen because usually you're not just cooking for yourself. And when you're not just cooking for yourself, you have to be careful not to get other people sick. So, most important parts of cooking hygiene, first of all, make sure to always wash your hands. I just washed my hands. Make sure to have clean hands. Make sure your hair, if you have long hair, you have a hat or you tie it back so you don't get, hairs in your food, which no one wants. Make sure to roll up your sleeves and then make sure just to have, you can see here, just to have a little towel or something you can use to clean your station constantly. Because, especially if you're handling like meat and then vegetables, you need to make sure that sometimes the diseases that can be on meat don't go on your vegetables.
Exactly. We call it keeping it in the Zen zone. So another thing we want to do is to have a garbage bowl. So any of your scraps
Yep,
you can put into a bowl, and so that your
I have mine right here.
exactly your cooking station is nice and set up. This is a part of what we call mise en place, putting everything in place. So that does not just include our ingredients, but it also means keeping our space organized so we can be in a flow as we're cooking. We're not running around the kitchen trying to find everything. We have everything laid out so that we can keep going and making the recipe. So, that being said, today we're making our collard green wrap. So I'm going to show you, well, first of all, there's a lot of different things that can go into a collard green wrap. There's different options, but what we basically want is a layer of flavor. So that is a smashed avocado, beans, or salsa. Other options you can use are you can put roast butternut squash and put it on there. You can also put different fillings, including we want some sort of carbohydrate. So we're going to use quinoa today. What are you going to use for yours, David?
Actually, I'm also going to be using some quinoa that we made yesterday.
Oh, yum. Other options you can use are jasmine rice or brown rice or bulgur, which is really, really full of fiber, which is really good for our digestion. Um, Other things we want is lots of vegetables. So we want to include a leafy green. So we're going to be using marinated kale for ours. What are you going to be using for yours, David?
So I'm going to be using some lettuce.
Awesome. So I have a question for you guys. You have a little poll. Have any of you guys ever eaten a green wrap before? We'd love to see if you guys have ever tried this. Kind of get a lay of the
So the first and last time I ever made it was yesterday. So
Oh, cool. So this is even new for David. So if it's something that you've never done
Mhm.
before, I'm sure it'll be really yummy the first time you try, especially
Right,
all the great things we're putting inside of it. It's kind of hard to have it
it was
not
delicious.
with the stuff inside. All right. A couple more people answer. We have 8 out of 14 people. Click yes or no. Do, 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 dee, da, do, 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 do. We're going to give you 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Three.
2, Looks like the majority of you have not eaten a green wrap before.
But there's still quite a few people who have.
Yeah, so that's really impressive. So for the people who haven't, you're in the right place to learn how to make one. It's really, we're going to walk you through step by step how to make it and a bunch of different.
Usually I'm in the living room just sitting watching.
Oh, that's no problem. So if you you can always like refer to this later. We post this on the Fuel Up website.
I don't know if I should go to the kitchen.
You can go to the kitchen and you can try to get all the rest of the ingredients together and see if you have them. Of course, we'd love for you to cook along with us. So if you can go to the kitchen and find it, you can. If you just want to sit and watch, that's perfectly fine. You can try again later, but it's a lot more fun to do a cooking class and actually cook, for sure. All right, so I'm going to show you my mise en place. And like I mentioned,
I don't want to.
Okay, that's fine. We can just be our little cooking show today. So we are going to start by showing our mise en place, which means putting everything in place. So I'm going to show you my setup. We're going to go into the chef zone. Woo! So we see here, I'm actually going to just...
do you want to put my second camera up?
Sure. So you can see here, we have all my ingredients laid out. So I have my collard greens, which is going to be our wrap. I have my carbohydrate, which is a quinoa. And then I'm going to be using two different bases. So I'm going to be using the smashed avocado. I'm also going to be using smashed black beans. So I have my black beans here.
Oh, those look really good.
Mm-hmm. And then I also want to have vegetables. So I have some roasted sweet potato that I have ready to go. And then we also want to include some dairy, which is really important for you guys, especially your age, to grow strong teeth and bones. So we have feta cheese. But feta cheese, one thing to note is it is full of a lot of sodium. So we want to be careful with the amount of salt that we put on top of it because it already has a lot of salt already included. We're also going to be using the collard green wrap, which is full of vitamins and minerals, a little bit more nutrient dense than a pita or some bread. Okay, so
I'm starting a bit earlier. I'm cutting my onions because I realized that I want to try to caramelize them, and it takes a really long time.
Yeah, so he's preparing his mise en place so that he can start layering on all of the ingredients when he makes his collard green wrap. I'm going to do the same thing by mashing up my black beans. So, mash up my black beans. I have my black beans here. And you could always mash them up with a fork, but I'm going to try and make things a little faster. So I'm going to put it into a blender. So I have my blender here. Boop, boop. And we're going to pour them in. And I want to add some flavor to these babies. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil. 1 Mississippi. 1 tip. 1 Mississippi usually equals about a tablespoon. And a tablespoon is a lot. So you don't have to put a lot in to get a lot out of it. So for flavor, I'm going to put in some ground black pepper for a little bit of spice. And then I'm also going to add a little dash of cumin. Ooh. And then to help it grind up, I'm going to add a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of water so it doesn't get stuck on the blades. And now we're going to mash it up.
All right, so right now I only have one burner, so I can't do it right in front. I have to do it there. But I can bring my second camera here. You can see I am caramelizing my onions.
Cool. David, do you know why it's called caramelizing?
Why?
Because the process of cooking the onions actually releases the natural sugars of the onion, which makes it sweet. Huh. Now you know.
All right, so let me start preparing my red peppers. So my red pepper, I'm gonna cut it second and a half. I'm gonna cut it into thirds. Let me get rid of all the seeds.
Nice. So I have my mashed peas here. I also want to add a little bit of citrus. So I'm going to cut my lemon. So in our Team Battle Chef program, we have different cuts that we use to make sure that we're keeping ourselves safe. So our first cut that we're going to show you is called a tunnel, which means we're going to place our hand on top of the lemon, because you can see it's circular, right? So it rolls around, and this helps keep it steady so it doesn't roll around on us. So we're going to put our hand around the lemon, keep it steady, put our knife through the tunnel so it can cut down, and use our body weight to cut right through the lemon.
Yep, I'm also using it right here.
And then I'm going to squeeze the lemon juices. I'm going to use my hand to block the seeds from going into my mixture.
And here, can I show the second cutting technique?
Of course.
So the second one is the bear claw. You see, if you can see my hands, I'm putting my fingers in a claw so that while I cut, I can cut like that, and the knife will never touch, the knife will never be able to cut my fingers because it's flat surface against the knife.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can use a rocking motion to cut all of my red peppers.
Rocking the boat.
Exactly.
So this is bear claw is a really great way to start off cutting, or what we call mincing, ingredients. So I'm gonna use a mince cut, which means we want to cut all of our ingredients really, really small. And these are chives. They're very strong in taste.
Ooh.
They're from the onion family, and a little goes a long way. You don't want a big chive in your food. You want small little bites, and that's spread out across your dish. So I'm going to use the bear claw first to chop up my chives into little pieces. So the bear claw keeps the chives in place as I'm moving my knife across the board. And then I'm gonna get all of my chives in a little pile here. And then what makes the mincing is you go into this clockwise cutting motion. So we have the tip of the knife on the board, and then we're slowly just gonna rotate it around and like a clock to get those pieces nice and small.
So for my red peppers, do you think I should cook them a bit, or should I put them in fresh?
I really like the taste of fresh peppers, but I also love the combination of the onions and cooked peppers. So it's really up to you. Do you guys?
I think I'll do half-half.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think he should cut it, or should cook it, or should she keep it fresh? We'd love to hear in the chat. Do you guys like fresh or cooked peppers? Any preferences? Chopped or fresh? Chopped. Oh, we have a fresh. Okay. We have a vote for fresh, David.
I guess I'll go for fresh.
There we go. Keeping it fresh. All right. So I have my chopped chives. So I now can put my chives into my black beans. And I'm also going to put it into my mashed avocado. So I'm going to mix that in here. So for the avocado, again, I'm going to use my tunnel. We are holding it with the hand wrapped around. And you slice it all the way through, all the way around the edge. And then you take your hands and split it open. Ta-da! A tip for avocados is you want to remove the pit. You take your knife and indent it into the knife and then twist to take the pit out.
Mine didn't come out as perfect as you did.
No, it didn't?
No, I can't. And actually, it's good.
There you go. Takes a little bit of practice. So now I'm going to get this perfect avocado. It's perfectly ripe. I'm going to put it in a bowl, and I'm going to put all my ingredients, all the flavors that I want. So there's this really famous book called Salt, Acid, Heat.
Ooh, salt, fat. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I like to
Didn't they make a documentary out of that too?
Yeah. So I like to apply those premises to what I'm cooking. I have this fat. The fat of the avocado it's full of healthy fat. So there's different kinds of fat. There's the unhealthy fat, which usually comes from, processed foods, things that are not natural. And then you have healthy fats, which are really good for the body. It's actually a really great way our body uses to protect itself, especially during the winter time. And the fat of the avocado absorbs a lot of flavor. So I'm going to put the citrus of the lemon into the avocado, and it's going to absorb all that delicious, zesty, tangy, sour flavor. It's going to be nice and fresh and good. Then I'm going to put that natural oniony flavor from the chives.
Matthew had a question in the chat.
Oh, what's this? Is this every Tuesday? Yes, it is every Tuesday at 4 p.m.
Although the ambassador changed every Tuesday.
Yes. So we're very lucky to have David this time, but he's not always busy. I think you're going to be there next.
Because we all know I'm the best.
You are great. We love you. Now I'm going to put a little bit of ground pepper, very similar to what I did for the beans. And then I'm going to put the cumin. And the best part of cooking is tasting. So one thing I do recommend is as you're cooking, taste as you go so you can see how all the flavors combine. So I'm going to show you a little taste. I think it needs just a little bit of salt. But again, we're going to be putting feta cheese on here. So I don't want to put too much salt because the salt of the feta cheese is going to combine with everything else, and you don't want to be too salty.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put a bit too much salt.
Perfect. All right. So I have all of my ingredients ready to be stacked on my collared wrap. How are you doing, David? Are you at the point where you can steam your wrap?
I think I am actually.
Okay, great. I don't want to start without you.
That is perfect. Let me just put my onions inside a bowl for now.
Well, I'm going to show you a little trick on how to prepare your collard green. So first of all, this is an already prepped collard green. You can see how green and vibrant it is. This is what collard greens
In
look
the name.
Yeah, exactly. This is what a collard green looks like when it's raw. So collard greens have this really thick fiber in the middle of it. It's a stalk. That's where it grew out of the ground. And it's actually pretty tough. And we don't want to have that when we bite into our wrap. So I'm going to use my knife to score the bottom. So I'm taking my knife and cutting right along the edge of where that very thick fiber is to cut it out. So you can see here, we have that little piece that we took out. And now all the fiber that's here, it should be able to be steamed a lot easier than the really thick end. All right. So now I'm going to show you how to steam your collard green in the microwave. So one thing to note is the way that microwaves heat up, we need to put a little bit of a paper towel to maintain the moisture of the leaf. So we put a little paper towel on top, and then we're going to put it in the microwave. One thing you want to do is make sure that it's able to turn. So this is a very big leaf. So I'm going to have to check and make sure that it turns as it's in the microwave. I'm going to put it on.
I don't know if you can see perfectly well, but I'm going to be doing it on a pot. So I've got a pot here. You can see the steam coming out.
Cool.
And I'm going to be putting both leaves inside.
Awesome. How long are you cooking that for?
I think, I don't know, I'm just going to check every like 30 seconds or so.
Okay, cool. I'm going to put mine
So
in.
probably about a minute, maybe a bit more.
Yeah, we tested this before you guys came in, and we found that a minute was perfect in the microwave. So I'm just going to make sure that it's turning perfect. It's turning nice and.
I forgot to cut my lettuce.
Mise en place. So for my green, I have kale that I cut into strips. You can see little strips. And kale is very fibrous. So I actually marinated this in a combination of olive oil, orange juice, and salt and pepper. And then I massaged
Wow.
into the fibers of the kale and let it set aside for about an hour so that the fibers broke down. So it's actually really soft. Kale, when it's raw, is very tough and fibrous. But if you massage it with the kale, with the citric acid of a lime, lemon, or orange juice, it breaks it down really easily. All right, here we go. Comes out the leaf. You can see this. I don't know if you can see the steam coming out. I wish we had steam-o-vision. Ooh. All right, you can see the leaf is really, really bright and vibrant.
Wow, that's a bright green.
And you can see it's a lot more easily manipulated, right? You can move it a lot easier.
All right, let me see mine.
I'm gonna do one
Oh,
more with the sheet on top.
look at that.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Looks like
Yeah, that looks good. Perfect.
round it goes. It's kind of fun to watch it go around and round. All right, I'm gonna get a plate. Set my leaves aside. So then we can start stacking up all of our ingredients on top of each other. This actually might need not a full minute because it's a little smaller. So I'm going to be making two different versions of my collard wrap. The first one I'm going to make with the avocado because we just made that and I want it to be nice and fresh. One of the tips for this, I'm going to get this closer so you can see everything, as we don't want to put all of our ingredients in the middle. We actually want to put it to one side so that when we fold it, it actually moves towards the middle. It's a little easier to fold. So I'm just gonna open this. I think this actually can be done already. Beautiful. So this one was a little smaller, so I didn't have to put it in for quite a minute. It was about 50 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna have my presentation plate off to the side. And now we're going to start layering all of our ingredients. The first thing we're going to do, are you ready to start? Yo, look at you, you're already doing it. So we're
Yeah. I got a bit too ahead of myself.
So,
All right. Got my avocado.
yep, putting avocado down first. This acts as our base layer of flavor.
All right, next, I think I'm gonna put my onions.
Cool. I'm going to put my quinoa. You don't need a lot.
So my onions are great because I put so much olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a nice, tasty, and they're not dry. You know, they have a good amount of olive oil, which will give it tons of taste.
Then I'm going to add a little bit of kale.
I'm gonna add I think my red peppers, I cut them a bit too big.
It's okay. You can always make some adjustments, right?
Yep, so let me just put this aside. Bring this back for a second.
And then this is our smashed up roasted sweet potato. And the final thing to add is our feta cheese. I really like using quinoa because it's full of lots of protein. It's a great grain option. All right, so I have all my layers ready to go. Now comes the folding.
All right, there we go. Now it's small enough. Oh God, you were so fast.
So I'm gonna put the bottoms first, top and the bottom, and then I'm gonna roll it towards that side.
All right.
The nicer
So
wrap.
I put my red peppers. I don't think I'm gonna have to have enough room for everything. Wow.
You gotta
Then I'm
be-
gonna take my carrot.
So we have one wrap done. Looking beautiful. And you can cut this in half too if you want to share it. Now I'm going to do a different one. You can customize these to anybody's specific flavor preferences. So this one, I'm putting the black bean paste on the bottom. And I'm going to put the quinoa again. The other options we mentioned before, you can put jasmine rice, brown rice, or bulgur. We're using quinoa today. Then I'm going to put my kale. Other things you can put in here if you want like a little bit of sweetness are some cranberries or raisins. That'll be really, really yummy. And then our final piece is our smashed up sweet potato. The recipe
You
that
did 2 in the time that I did 1. I also put a tiny bit of lemon zest on top.
yeah, that sounds good.
Because recently I've been putting lemon zest on everything.
I've been noticing that, but it's a super really easy way to keep things really fresh. So I'm gonna
All right, let me see if I can close this.
let's fold it together. How about that?
All right.
You'll fold the top and the bottom in towards the center at the same time. Perfect. Then we're going to take the bottom layer that has all the ingredients and start rolling it towards the side that doesn't have any ingredients. And there you go. It's a nice little wrap.
Is there any ingredient sticky enough that it can act as a natural glue?
So the bottom of it, the avocado.
Oh, we can just turn it around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
there you go. And you can see we have our wraps.
I'd even have enough room to put my feta cheese.
So I'm going to cut mine in half. Which one should I cut? I think I'm going to cut the bigger one.
Oh, look at that. I mean, I can't open it too much or else everything will be gone, but you can see all that color.
You can see inside. Ta-da! And now we get to taste it. Oh, wow, look at
Hey.
that beauty shot. Looks great.
All right, let's taste it. Ah, I grabbed it wrong. There we go. I grabbed this one correctly.
Yum!
Mmm.
This is so good. I love the feta cheese in it. It's nice and salty. It rounds it out.
It came out delicious. Wow. No.
Yum! Matthew, are you cooking with us right now? Do you need any help?
Yeah. So I was like looking, right? And then I'm like, that might be hard to write down and also to memorize.
Yeah,
I was just like watching, and I'm like, that might be hard to memorize.
well, we have
Well,
recipe cards for you. So we actually have recipes that a recipe card that you can reference. So
Yeah,
And
I
there's
think
like 5 steps.
I think you guys should like give it to me and then I can like show it to my mom.
of course, so if you put your email in the chat, we can send it to you.
Really, the most important steps
Yeah,
are
I
steaming the
did. I
collard
did put my
greens.
email.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did put
just-
my email.
Basically, the most important steps are steaming the collard greens and then taking all ingredients and throwing it in. Like, take the ingredients you want and then put them inside the collard green.
Lynn. So we put the link to the recipe card in the chat.
That was delicious.
Yum. Matthew, can you let us know if the link works for you?
I think that link goes to the Dropbox sign-in.
Yeah, so it doesn't, I think, can you please send us your email so that we can email it to you? I think we have to set things up on our end so that we can access it. Okay, great.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to.
Perfect. Well,
I'll show you my.
yeah,
Should I put the email in the chat?
yeah, that'd be great. That'd be perfect. Awesome. Well, I had a lot of fun making these. They were super, super yummy, full of all these different flavors. This is actually a well-rounded meal. So it has vegetables, it has a carbohydrate, it has dairy, and all those things are important to include in our daily diet. We want to include as many natural ingredients as possible so we can fuel ourselves up and keep ourselves full and happy all day long. It's really, really easy and yummy snack to make for yourself and for your family. And guess what? We have another cooking class happening tomorrow. It's our Instagram Live. And we are going to be making avocado yogurt dip with homemade tortilla chips. So it's a little bit different to access this. We're going to be doing it on our Instagram. So you have to go to our Family Cook NYC Instagram account. And then you can tune in at 4 p.m. tomorrow. And then you can watch us cook this avocado dip with homemade tortilla chips. So, so, so good.
You there?
Yeah.
Watching, not cooking.
We actually have a final question for you. Forgot. Who won Team Battle Chef?
Oh,
Dun, dun,
so
dun,
you forgot that part.
dun. We got
That's right. You won.
Who won the battle?
Vote for me.
I'm going to eat this while you vote. This is so yummy.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. It's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. All right, 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who won? David, you won! Yay! Very, very well-deserved win. We also want you guys to win some prizes. So we have a fuel up challenge for you. If you guys follow along with the recipe or try to recreate this based off of what you saw us make, you can make this collard green wrap yourself, post a picture of your collard green wrap to Instagram, tag Family Cook and American Dairy Northeast, and do the hashtag FuelUpTDC so we can track it. And you have to do it by Friday. And if you do that, and we love the picture that you made, you can win a prize. You can win a prize for making food. What? So cool. Also, we want to build community. So if you want to follow our chefs, like me, you can follow us at Family Cook NYC, and you can follow David at David_Gransard. So you can see what we're cooking up. And like I said, tomorrow we have a cooking class happening on Instagram Live. So we hope to see you there. It was so much fun chefing it up with you. Congratulations, David, on winning. Amazing, amazing job. So proud. Yay! Thank you so much, everybody. We hope to see you soon. We also will be doing Zoom class next Tuesday as well, and we're going to be making apple cookies. Super yummy, really easy, go-to snack.
My next class is on March 2nd.
Yes. This is our